fresh cup of joe with just a pinch of pumpkin spice creamer. It is delicious. And just give me a second to put this down. What is going on, comic book fans? Welcome back to Bruce and Stephanie Comics. My name is Bruce, and it is Wednesday, February 2nd of 2022. You guys are out picking up those sweet, sweet new comic book day pickups at your local comic book shop. And guys, I'm already looking into the future at final order cutoff in new comic book day of next week. Now, why do I do this? Now I do this so that way you guys have enough time to put in your pre-orders for your final order cutoff books and to also have enough time to reach out to your local LCS and tell them, hey, I was watching Bruce and Stephanie Comics comic book speculation and recommendations video. I like what he had to say. I did my own research and I would like to pick up a couple extra copies of these books because I would like to start and make this hobby fun itself. Now, before we get into the juicy speculation for final order cutoff, I do need to remind you guys about two things. And the first thing is, guys, you have to do your own research. Speculation is basically educated guesses. I use my comic book knowledge to make the best educated guesses on what I think might be popular on the secondary market in the future. But what you guys need to do is take what I have to say and go check out other comic book YouTubers you trust, other comic book websites that you trust, and there are other comic book apps that you trust. Gather the most information possible so that way you guys can make the best decisions for yourself. Because remember, you guys are spending your own hard-earned money on these books. Not my money, your money. And the second and final reminder that I have for you guys is that there are delays with comic books. So sometimes I will speak about a book multiple times on my final order cutoff section or multiple times in my new comic books day section. And that is because that book has been delayed for one reason or another. So I just want to mention that to you guys. So if you see a book week after week, it is because that book has been delayed for, like I said, one reason or another. All right, guys, let's talk about all the books that are on final order cutoff that have speculation. Alright guys, we're going over all the books that have speculation on this upcoming weekend, which is February 6th for your DC and Scout books and February 7th for your Marvel and all the other indie titles. We always kick off this list with our cover lover picks. Now, I went through all the books on final order cutoff, and these three books were the ones that I think will do well on the secondary market, and they're all DC books. I know, where's the Marvel love? Well, Marvel needs to put up better covers, and they'll get the love. And the first book up is Batman Killing Time, #1, the 1 in 25 Alex Gardner cardstock variant. This cover features Catwoman, and I think it is the coolest, the sexiest, the most amazing cover on final order cutoff, and this book will do well on the secondary market. The next book up is Detective Comics number 1055, the Libra Mayo cover. It is just fantastic. All the Libra Mayo covers coming up are just fantastic, but I do think this one will do a little bit better because it has Batgirl on the cover. And the last one up is Detective Comics number 1055, the 1 in 25 Jorge Fornes cover, and I picked this because it is different. There's lots of Batman covers out there, but this is the only Batman cover that I've seen done in this style, in this color palette. It is stunning, fantastic, and awesome, and this book might not do as well as the other ones, but I think this is a stinking cool cover, and for all the Batman collectors out there who want something different, I think they will go after this cover. Alright guys, it is that time to rip through all the books on final order cutoff has speculation. Now guys, I did not cherry pick the ones that I like just yet. Stick around to the end and I will tell you which of these books that I think you guys might want to pick up extra copies of. Right now, I'm just going to go through all the books that have speculation and then you guys can make your own decision. And maybe you like my decision, but stick around till the end to find out which one is my pick. First book up is Batman Killing Time #1. This is a 6-issue limited series that sees a younger version of Batman in a race against time to recover a mysterious and prized artifact that is very important to him from the Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman. This is also the first cameo or full appearance of the Help. Next up, Batman Urban Legends #13. This is the first team appearance of the Super Pets, led by Ace, the Bat-Hound, Metron, Lil Nuts, and Ursa. Pretty freaking cool. I love pets, and this is just amazing. Check out this cover. This cover is so stinking cool. Next up is Black Panther #3, the second print. We're not talking about that first print craziness that's happening right now, especially that 1 in 25. No, this is the second print, and this is the Manhattan, I believe that's how you pronounce it, variant. Next up is Captain Carter, #1 of 5. This is the first appearance of Captain Carter in comic books. Do not mistake this for the first appearance of Peggy Carter as Captain America, which is what I originally thought this was. No, this is Captain Carter, which is a different character. Next up, Hulk Grand Design Monster #1. This is part 1 of a 2-part stylistic review of the Incredible Hulk history, written and illustrated by Jim Rugg. Next up, Punisher #1. series with the Punisher as the Warlord or the Hand, and debut of the new chest, possibly temporary chest emblem. Next up, Rogue Sun #1, expansion of Image's Marvel Universe that began with Radiant Black. Next up, Spider-Gwen Gwenverse #1, introduction of alternate dimension versions of Gwen throughout the series. Next up, X of Death Wolverine #4, Marvel teases this issue will be a major turning point for the X books moving forward. Alright guys, that was the last book that has speculation coming up on this week's Final Order Cutoff. What is the one book that I think you guys might want to consider picking up extra copies of? So guys, this week was a really weird week. After going through all those books, I really didn't think any were worthy of you guys picking up extra copies of. None of that spec was really that solid in my opinion. But if you look back at those cover lover picks, oh boy, this is where it's gonna get fun. So my FOC Spec Pick of the week is Batman Killing Time #1 of 60, 1 in 25, Alex Gardner cardstock variant cover. I think if you guys pick up extra copies of this book, yes, it is gonna cost more than just your regular $4.99, $5.99, or $3.99 cover price book. No, this is a 1 in 25, so you're gonna be spending at least $25 to get your hands on this book. But if you can score yourself extra copies of this book, I think you guys will make a premium on this in the future. I think this cover is absolutely stunning. There has been some recent Catwoman covers that have done really well on the secondary market, and I think this one is better than those. But guys, let me know down in the comments below, do you guys agree with me? Were there books in that main spec list that you thought would be better choices for my FOC key spec of the week? Or do you agree with me that this is the best choice for speculation on this upcoming Final Order Cutoff? Before we jump into my speculation for New Comic Book Day, I do want to let you guys know, if you do not have the Key Collector app, this is the time for you to go download the app, pay for the subscription, so that way you guys have access to the future key section. This is very important because that's where I pull the data for this section of the video. Not all of it. For the cover lover section, I always go to League of Comic Geeks. But for the speculation section, I always use the Key Collector app. It's very handy. You can look far off into the future if you would like, but this is a great app to have on hand. This week, there are 33 books that have speculation, 12 new #1s, 6 cover choices, and 6 first appearances. There are more on the list, but those are the ones that I wanted to call out. Now let's jump into my New Comic Book Day spec picks for February 9th of 2022. We always kick off this list with my cover lover picks of the week, and guys, I went through every single cover on League of Comic Geeks for February 9th of 2022, and there is not a single cover that I think is spec worthy just on the cover alone. I know, this is the first time ever on this video that I've ever not had a cover that I thought would do well on the secondary market, but after going through every single cover for Marvel, DC, and all the indie titles, there was not a single cover that I thought would do well just on the cover alone. So that means let's jump into my one and only spec book for New Comic Book Day of next week. Of the 33 books on the Key Collector app that have speculation, there's really only one book that I think you might want to consider picking up a couple extra copies of. I've actually already pre-ordered a bunch of these books because I do kind of believe in this speculation. I also really like this character, and whenever they launch a new #1, I get behind it. And that is Ghost Rider #1. And there's actually 3 first appearances in this book. There's the first appearance of Zeb, a dark magician. First appearance of Talia Warroad, an ex-SHIELD agent. And also the first appearance of a government agency tasked with investigating the Ghost Rider. Now, do I think that we'll see any of these on the big or small screen? Probably not. Maybe the government agency, who knows? I think that's probably the best bet of all those, but Ghost Rider is a great character, and we are going to get the Ghost Rider in the MCU in the near future. Near-ish future, at least. We're already getting the Moon Knight, we're getting a dark Doctor Strange, and we're also getting Blade in the near future. I think they're building that dark horror roots so that way they can introduce characters like the Ghost Rider. And I think really cool covers for Ghost Rider will do well. And man, the cover A for this, the Ryan Stegman cover, there's a lot of really cool covers for Ghost Rider #1 that I think you guys might want to pick up just on the cover alone. And, well, in this book also have 3 first appearances. This might be a long-term hold. You might have to hold on to this book for a long time to see these characters on the big or small screen. And if you have them now, you can get them for cover price. And that is just such a great thing to get these books on the ground floor for cover price. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this comic book speculation recommendations. Now, before you log off, I would love to know, do you guys agree with my 2 picks? The Batman Killing Time #1, the 1 in 25 Alex Gardner cover, which I think is absolutely amazing. That's probably the best book that I could suggest to you guys from this whole video, or Ghost Rider #1. Are you picking up any extra copies of Ghost Rider #1? Let me know down in the comments. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for sticking around this long. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, get yourself subscribed. Hit that bell for notifications and smash that like button. All right, guys, I'll most likely see you guys next week. I might have a Friday video, but most likely I'll see you guys on Monday for my must-have pickups for next week's new comic book day. Peace.